Hi everyone, welcome back for another episode of Adams for the Love of Movie Picks. This time around we're going to be talking about the 2019 film Fighting with My Family. Starring, among others, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So basically, I'll tell you who's in this movie and then I'll tell you what it's about. So Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Lena Headey as Julia Knight, Vince Vaughn as Hutch, introducing Florence Pugh as Saraya Knight, and Nick Frost as Ricky Knight. And I think that's pretty much the extent of the well-known actors in this. I think there's a few wrestlers that make cameos in this. Oh yeah, and Stephen Merchant is Hugh. But yeah, so basically, Fighting with My Family is the true story of the women's champion and diva wrestler Paige, who has a lot of similarities to The Rock. She comes from a wrestling family. The Knights. She learned to wrestle with her family in Norwich, England. That's where they're from. And it's kind of a rags to riches story about how at first she didn't even though she comes from a wrestling family, she wasn't interested in wrestling until one day her dad calls her to be an emergency fill-in for one of the girls in his matches, because they own and operate their own wrestling company. And she instantly falls in love with the spectacle that is the ringside, and being in the ring and the people chanting her name. And she also finds out that she's very good at the wrestling, along with her brother Zach. They're very good at wrestling. And one day the WWE is holding a tryout in England, London, England, and they go to it. And she gets called, to go to the camp, like the next step, whatever you want to call it, from the tryout. But Zach unfortunately doesn't. And it really hurt Zach for a while because it means so much to Zach. It's all he's ever wanted to do, and he didn't get it. But he's so happy for Paige, and Paige, struggles, Saraya, Paige, whatever you want to call her, struggles through it. At first, but then she eventually perseveres and goes on to be the women's champion. I think the cast choices were very well done. I especially like Nick Frost as her dad, Ricky Knight. I think he's absolutely hilarious in this. I think that all the characters and the actors, I should say, they picked to play these characters, these actual characters, I think they did it really well because you really feel like a family bond in the movie, because that's one thing that apparently, they're very close-knit, not just wrestling family, but family in general. And they really care for each other. And I think they did a great job picking them to play each other. Even the relatively unknown Florence Pugh, I think, does a phenomenal job portraying Paige, Saraya Knight. And yeah, I just highly recommend it. It's got a good storyline to it. Overcoming adversity kind of thing, the rags to riches. If you put your mind to it, you can kind of accomplish anything kind of thing. It's a great story. It's hard to believe it's a true story. There's some comedy sprinkled in there, and I mean, obviously, if you're a fan of wrestling, you will enjoy this movie. It's really well done and put together. It even says in the back you'll want to stand up and cheer. So, I highly recommend Fighting with My Family if you've never seen this movie before. Not sure if it's available on any streaming platforms, but I'm pretty sure it's available wherever movies are sold. And there we are, folks. Have yourselves a great night. Take care, and we'll catch you in the next one.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.